insightful, but are you likable? You got jokes, you're the host, stand up. Are you likable?
Until then, okay. Or until we like officially start. That way I don't have to remember to hit the button. Oh, I should do it for the cameras too. Boom. Always. I did a whole episode forgetting to hit that button. So I was just like, shit. Got none of that. None of that. Oh, goodness. How was the drive up here?
It was wet, but it was easy. Yeah, no, it was super easy. I didn't even really I saw like a ton of cops, but
okay.
I'm not a big speed demon anyway. I go like 5-10 over at the most.
Okay.
I was pretty much cruise control all the way up here. It was great.
Very responsible.
Yeah, well, you have to, wait till you're old, man. Give it 10 years and reassess.
I would have thought when you said you were older that you were like my age, because you don't look, to me, you don't look like you're older than me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I get a lot of, I don't know what to say to that other than black don't crack, like I do that corny thing, because I get it a lot from other comics. They're like surprised I'm not in my mid-30s, but I don't know. I wouldn't say good living. It's just maybe sort of fucking cheat code. But, or maybe in like 10 years I'll look like a skeleton. But
there you go. It'll just hit you all at once.
It'll catch up.
Are you part black?
No, certainly not.
Okay, so black don't crack doesn't apply.
No.
You say not below the belt?
No, definitely not. I'm as Irish as they come from the equator down.
I'm as Irish as they come from where I come. That's that's
It was funny. I was listening to that Michael episode. You guys were talking about the bit that Josh Johnson has about having the three things, like you're either a good person, good job, or you have a good dick. And you were like, oh, well, I have a good job. I'm a good person.
Yeah, you'll never catch me on stage letting people know that I have a sizable schwanz, you know?
Yeah,
trying to find old words for things.
Not my bravado either.
Yeah, it's not some guy. It's especially proportionately. Like if I were like 4 feet tall, I'd be doing good. You know what I mean? They'd be like, wow, that's bigger than I thought it'd be.
Have you ever seen the dick on that dwarf? Looks like a full-grown Irish man's.
Little tripod Dave over there. Hi-ho. Yeah.
Little tripod.
Little tripod. Yeah. It's like a tabletop.
It's like a cell phone tripod, not a movie camera one.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't bring me to a wedding.
No.
Definitely found at an open mic. All right, hello and welcome to Likable, a show where we discuss stand-up comedy from an entry-level perspective. I'm your host, David Stickle, and today I'm joined by Mr. A.J. Ellis. How are you today,
What's
buddy?
Up, man? Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited for you to be here. This is different because I don't know you super well. We've seen each other at a couple open mics.
Yeah, I just stalk you on Instagram. That's about it.
Exactly. I stalk you a little bit on Instagram too. We're doing the
Usual creeps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're white guys. You know, it's it's kind of our thing. We've cornered the market on it.
You have the smallest butt of anyone I stalk on Instagram. That's for sure. And average boobs.
Fuck. I got to get the rack down and the cheeks up. You know,
fucking preaching to the choir on that one, brother.
Yeah. Are you lacking in the cake department as well?
No. Well, yeah, that went away, and then it just all moved to my boobs. I'm like some sort of reverse Brazilian butt lift for dudes. As I get older, it's turning into my grandmother very quickly.
That's hot. Cleave it to beaver. I love that.
Cleave it to beaver.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. That's most of my thing. It's also it's a little warm in here. Are you warm?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be glistening on this whenever we get the cameras to work.
Fair enough.
The people will see me glisten. Listening and glistening, as I like to say.
I'd be looking at you.
Oh, you could do whatever. They're never going to see this anyway.
Good. That's good. You got a face for radio anyway.
Yeah, same. Same. So we'll start with some bits, I guess, because you said you wrote one on the way here.
I actually came up with a couple premises on the way up, and then one I think I fleshed out the beginning of. But
AJ had a long drive on the way up here,
all the way up from northern Jersey, just west of Hell.
Hell yeah!
Just where it starts to look a little bit like this, but not the beautiful mountains and stuff. But like,
oh yeah,
we have grass in my hometown.
Live
so that's
from
nice.
The beautiful Epicurean in Rhinecliff, New York.
So I was on the way up here, and actually it was when I first got off the thruway, and I saw this car dealership that had the biggest flag I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
And these car dealerships, they have the craziest flags. And so the reason why I noticed it was so long is because it's raining hard enough down that it was like sticking to the pole. And this thing went all the way down to the bottom of the pole. This was like ridiculous. And so what I was thinking is there some sort of correlation between the the bigger the flag on the dealership, and is that the dealership that sells those lifted giant trucks that are all these fucking rednecks are flying the flags off the back of? That, you know, those screaming "I have a tiny dick" size trucks that park in 4 parking spaces and love freedom, which is fine. I love freedom too, but I was just picturing like the bigger the flag, the bigger the trucks they sell. I don't know what to do with it.
Small dick, big patriotism.
Yeah.
Did you see that getting off of the Kingston exit to come here?
No, I missed it.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to look on the way back.
Oh, okay.
That's what it says?
No. So like, there's the Kingston exit, and they also have a very big flag at that on the throughway.
Oh no, that's what I was talking about.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, that's the one you're. Okay, okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you said I missed the sign that said "Small Dick Big Patriotism." I was like, I'm gonna go take a picture, man.
No, that's on my car.
Yeah, no. I don't know how I didn't know how you lean politically. I don't try to get into a lot of political stuff. But then I was thinking, so that made me just think about where we are and the whole the right. I like everyone who's a coward or tries to be PC. I say I'm like in the middle kind of guy.
Yeah.
Whatever. I probably lean a little left. But the only thing I thought of was how much more expensive does America have to get before we're great again? And is there going to be like an email sent out? Like, I don't have a sight line into when we're great again. Is it like flip a switch? I assume at some point it's like The Price is Right with the fucking yodeler going up. At some point the price is going to get high enough that it just falls into greatness.
Yeah.
I assume.
It's funny. I never even considered the concept of how will we know when we're great.
Yeah. We're supposed to be coming.
Yeah.
We're supposed to. The prices were supposed to go down too, and they aren't. So, so maybe we have to pay for what you get, kind of thing.
I think at some point, everything was supposed to get cheaper, and then it fucking totally didn't. That fucking sucks. Well, when is America great again? I don't know. We have to fix like the mental health of people so they can actually feel great when they are great. You know what I mean? Like, that'll be.
I mean, on paper, I'm great. I wake up fucking miserable or terrified every day.
Yeah, I know. Especially when I get done like masturbating, I'm just like, I am the worst. But the session was great because I came. That's usually
I like politics.
Yeah.
It's like an old Carlin thing. He's like, he thinks politics is a lot like jerking off, except for when he said he never voted, and he said, well, at least when I'm done masturbating, I have something to show for it. That guy's the best.
I love that. I don't know. This has just got me off on a tangent here, but like I would say I'm kind of in the middle politically. I don't like to talk about politics that much, but I just I was watching Kill Tony this morning, and it's funny to me that like the whole premise of that like push for Trump on that podcast was like, oh, we want freedom of speech and all this kind of stuff, but they're broadcasting from a state that is like very pro speech, but like won't let you watch porn.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's like, yeah, you can say what you want, you just can't masturbate to like the good stuff, like
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of speech that matters most to most guys like us.
Yeah, like, oh fuck yeah. Like that's I want you to say that. Like shit, it's like I want to be,
as long as they say it in English, it's probably gets a little bit more bandwidth, I'm sure.
You think so?
I want them
in Texas probably.
Yeah, if they're coming in Spanish, then they're going to try to send them down to El Salvador as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
It's funny, like a girl who doesn't like took high school Spanish but isn't really fluent in it, but she's trying, because like those people that try to act like they're but she's a porn star.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sí, es bueno.
¿Dónde es la biblioteca?
Mucho gusto.
Listen, this is mature porn, but she has an elementary level education in Spanish. So
she aspires to be better.
Yeah,
she's trying.
Yeah. Brought to you by Duolingo, our new sponsor for the Likable podcast. We love this very much. We're learning
great
all
sponsor,
the things.
man.
Yeah, Duolingo. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I downloaded a vocabulary app, and the first word it had me learn was moron, and I'm like, there's probably a better word for that. It was a little
also, if you need to learn that word, it's probably going to hurt your feelings when you learn what it means, because you got to be one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was like one of those things where like I downloaded the app, and it's like, we know why you're here. This is what you are.
I actually downloaded Duolingo probably almost a year ago.
Okay.
I opened it once, and you had to like register, and I was like, I don't have time for this right now. I haven't touched it since, but I have it in my travel subfolder because I want to seem so fucking bougie.
Yeah.
I haven't left the tri-state area in 2.5 years, but if I ever get whisked away to France or something, I'll learn on the plane.
It's funny you mentioned that. I seldom dream. Okay. And this is just a dumb fucking note. I rarely dream, but the other day I had a dream that I was on a flight, or on my way to get on a flight to go to Paris, and I forgot my passport at home.
Oh no!
And the ticket was like $2,100, and I'm like such a stay-at-home kind of guy. And Michael was in this dream. I'm dreaming about you, Michael. Sorry.
Michael, we haven't met in person yet, but I dream about you too, dude.
Yeah,
very funny.
Yeah, you're very funny, Michael. He gets brought up
compliments, though. I learned that from the episode. So
yeah, there's an episode dropping tomorrow, and there's probably like a good 5-10 minutes of us talking about how great Michael is. And
I just love that.
This
play for his parents, because apparently they never gave him a hug or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna tag him in that episode, I think. Maybe this one if it keeps going. Poor little guy. No, but I was like trying to get out of the trip, and Michael was like, "Dude, you just spent $2,100 on this flight to Paris. Like, you can't back out." So then I got up. When I woke up in the morning, I like Googled how much it costs to fly to Paris, and it was like $700. So I was like, I would skip the flight for that. Yeah.
So that's funny. If someone asked you what you dreamt and you're like, "Oh, I dreamt about a trip to Paris," and they're like, "Oh, that's lovely." It's like, no, I actually never got there, and it was the worst thing, and it was a financial crisis, and then there was travel and an airport and TSA. You had the worst possible trip to Paris dream that there is, and that says probably something about your brain.
Yeah, literally the trip of my dreams is anxiety about going and then not being able to. I love that.
I have so much travel anxiety.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I just I'm the kind of guy that likes to plan out his steps ahead of time. Like,
oh yeah.
I get enraged if you're waiting in line for a restaurant and somebody gets to the front and then they start trying to figure out what the fuck they're going to order. Like, I'm standing in this line for 10 minutes. I feel like that is everything about life in an airport. And I'm just such an asshole perfectionist. And my wife really hates to travel with me for sure.
Are you like on edge the whole time?
I mean, I've been improving as a person in therapy and stuff. But I'm usually like, come on, it's our turn to get out of the row. Like, let's go. It's now. It's like jumping out of the plane instead of just walking off it. I'm like, let's go, go, go.
Is she one of those people that's just like kind of chill and just like flowy?
Definitely the yin to my yang for sure.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But there's a little bit of excitement to be learned from being married to a complete psycho. Right? Otherwise your life would be too chill
yourself,
and boring.
or?
No, yeah, me for sure. She's a saint. But yeah, anxiety. I've been working on it. So that was probably my biggest barrier to starting stand-up.
Oh yeah? Anxiety?
Full stage fright.
Really?
Yeah, like almost like crippling, to the point where I've been very proud of myself, not for my joke writing ability or anything, just the fact that I can get up there now and not have a heart attack after 15 minutes. Or whatever,
okay, well, you should be proud of both. But like, so how long ago when was your first open mic?
Okay, so I dipped in a city that didn't have much of a scene for maybe 6 to 9 months, so I don't know if it counts or not. But in 2010, I was in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Ooh.
A town that has one club and maybe 3 open mics the entire week.
What's the name of the club? Do you know?
It's called the Comedy Zone, which there are a couple of.
Still open?
Yeah, it's still there.
Okay.
But
cool.
as an open micer, it was impossible to come up because, like I said, you could probably get 15 minutes of stage time a week. But I just use it as an excuse to like meet more friends. I had just moved to that city for a job, and I drank a lot, had a lot of fun, and I never really took it seriously. And when I would get up, I would just be a drunk wreck and have a good time doing it. But I can't watch. It's the kind of tapes you can't even watch.
Yeah.
But then I moved to New Jersey, where I'm from. I moved back after.
Wait, how long ago was this?
So 3 years ago, I moved back to New Jersey, 2.5 years.
Okay,
but Charlotte I was there for 15 years. I left New Jersey. I went to college. I moved to San Diego for a couple years.
Okay.
Started with a company that gave me my own office in Charlotte, and then I stayed there for 15 years and had 3 kids, got married there, the whole thing. And it was a great city other than that. But eventually it was time to come back to where my family is. My family's getting a little older. We miss them. My wife got a really good job in the city, so we could afford to come back to the tri-state area. And there's a reason why the South lost the Civil War, and it's not just industry. It was also education.
Yeah.
If you've ever met a lot of Southerners, my kids were so far behind in school, and they are very smart good kids, and they just got so down on themselves about sucking at school. And within like a first year of good teachers and services and stuff, they're like doing great. And so that was the main reason. And once I got back to New Jersey, I decided that it was time to try this for real, and I wasn't like a closeted alcoholic anymore.
Yeah, closeted comic either.
Didn't have any cocaine connections like I did in my 20s. So I've been plugging away since it's been 2 years this past January.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
2 years. Okay, that's awesome. And we're in the northern. Still a baby. So you're in the northern Jersey scene?
Yes.
Okay.
I travel to central Jersey, and I'll do a little bit of Jersey Shore. I go into the city. It's right there. A little bit just over the New York border.
Okay.
I worked at the Rhino once, but I go there for mics and contests and stuff too.
Yeah.
I actually just sent a tape to them like a month ago, and she never even said she got it. So whatever. But
I've heard that before, actually.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm probably not always the best fit for that room anyway.
Oh, I mean, I've seen some of the acts they've put on there. I feel like most people are.
I've gotten like an "Oh My Stars" Southern dame blotting her forehead with a hanky gasp before from a woman. I thought she was going to faint, and
Was it Tuesday?
I'm not even that dirty. No, actually, I like Tuesday. Tuesday is very complimentary of me, and I thought that was great because I figured that she's the type of person that would hate, my rape advice hotline joke or something like that.
I love that. I mean, is that where we met? Was a contest?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, it's either that or levity. It's got to be.
Yeah, that's the only two in between here and there that I've really gotten to next. Since. And I've done a little bit in getting into Pennsylvania. Okay. But not fully into it yet. Like I like John and Peters and New Hope, but that's just for mics. They have. I don't know if you're familiar. That's pretty far away, but it's like this very old bar on a really cute on the river town, kind of like this reminds me of. Yeah. But it's like a bar that's from like the 50s, and it's in the back they have this entire stage that looks like something that like I don't even know, it's like something that Mort Saul would have performed in. It's like a time capsule, but it's like really cool, and a lot of good comics from New Jersey go there. Philly comics, it's close enough for them to come up, so I've started learning more people there. And then randomly this chick booked me on a show a month and a half ago in Allentown, which is a town I'd only driven through. At this like art space, and they do this all the time. And it was shout out to Kate Hughes for the booking.
Shout out Kate.
It was really cool, but it's for an actual gig, it's the longest I've ever driven because it was like an hour and 45 minutes from my house. But
damn, okay.
I am a car slut for that because ever since COVID, I've been a stay-at-home dad. So I lock it down. I take care of the kids. It's what I do. My wife makes all the money, so it's a pretty sweet gig.
Hell yeah.
And I cook the dinners and I clean the house and all that other shit. But after the kids are on their way ready to go to bed, she's fine with me going out and pursuing this. So I probably, at my peak, like in the summer, I was probably going out 5 nights a week, and I was hitting more than one mic a night and driving as far as I needed to make that happen. So most of New Jersey. I performed in Atlantic City a couple times, and some friends that put me on a show there. So I'm willing to drive.
Yeah.
I don't mind being in the car. It's much more quiet than... I love my kids, but there's 3 of them under 10, so you can imagine.
Yeah.
And it's helped my comedy a lot, too, because all I do is listen to tape or listen to people that are better than me at comedy and get inspired. So
I tell you, it helps me a lot to like listen to pros. I was listening to a lot of Louis C.K. this morning, and I've seen him perform maybe like 6 or 7 times now, and he's just... Every time it baffles me because I'm like a storyteller, and like he just like says like random things. Yeah. And I'm just like, man, I need to add that as an element to my stories.
He kind of does both. It's amazing because like I can write the quick bit better than I can weave the story. Like I have these great stories that my friends, all people run into this, that are trying to be comics, but we can tell these stories that my friends and I understand because they relate to me, but I have always had a hard time translating it to like the general public's consumption. So I'm really in awe of people that can do that. But I think there's, we all know there's different tools in the bag, and you want to try to have all of them at one point.
For sure. Like for storytelling, like that works great in clubs. Like I love doing stories in clubs, but like when I go to do like a bar show,
like, nobody's listening to a story in a bar.
Attention to me,
They're just like, they're not paying attention.
Like this guy's still talking. Like fuck this guy. So it's painful. And then all the cum jokes come out, and that was pretty rough. It's pretty rough.
I mean, I think there's certain people that were going to a bar expecting some sort of coming, but I have a good, not like almost like one-liners. I have a good chunk of those, and I've been. As I've been trying to become a stand-up, I've been moving away and trying to weave them into bigger bits. And as I've gotten frustrated with that, I've decided that I just pepper into my act every once in a while. Just hit you with 3 quick ones and then go back to the off-speed pitches. And it's starting to work. I'm still figuring everything out, but I love one-liner, like quick hitter jokes. Like,
I'm so jealous of them. What's crazy is there's a comic that's local to Rhinebeck that has not gotten around much, but he will do my open mics every once in a while. He doesn't like go to Levity or anything like that, but he like sometimes he'll do some spots in Kingston, but like he immediately just like knew his voice, and then when he got out there, it was just quick one-liners that are like punny.
Yeah.
And you know, Jeff, I'm jealous of that so much, and his memory is shit. But when it comes to memorizing new jokes, amazing. You know, like he can come up with a new set. So I'm very jealous of that. Whereas like my memory doesn't work for a sequence of jokes. It memorizes the path of a story, you know? So that's like, I don't know how that works either.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I've always considered myself someone with a good overall memory, but when it comes to this, what you're talking about with the path of a joke, if I get jarred at all, if I'm a little nervous before I go up stage, I have to like fight through the blank. And I was like, I've done this 100 times. I've mapped this all out, and I still get lost. Like, can't remember.
Yeah, it's so random.
Especially in the moment. So, but I can tell you the first phone number we ever had. And my parents were divorced, so I've lived in 10 different houses in my life. But I can tell you 973-377-1809.
All right, call it.
I don't know who's there now, but
wow.
Based on my the change in my area, they're probably going to answer with a hola as opposed to hello, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But,
I don't like. I stay away from crowd work because I can't memorize anything. Like, and then have a tangent involved. But stories, I can still find my way home, you know. But if I have like a series of jokes, a piece of crowd work that I did not anticipate throws me off of that line of stuff. So I get all fucking confused and shit. You know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I've actually taken some jokes and woven them into so like my closer is like 2 minutes about my parents' divorce, like a quick thing, but and it's kind of like a story, but it's really a Frankenstein story. It's not all exactly a sequential story that happened to me. It's these jokes that I've been able to finally get them to build into each other. So that's been fun, because I know once I get to there, the thing that gets me to that chunk, I'm home. And I'm starting to get that with a chunk about my wife too, but I feel like a fraud sometimes, because I'm telling this story, but I'm talking about all these horrible things my wife has done to me, and she hasn't done any of them. She's fantastic, and I'm talking about how she's fucking other dudes and all sort of stuff.
But that's like the whole point of the the performance is that it's like it doesn't have to be real, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Which is great, and it's awesome that your wife understands that. And
I sometimes wonder how much she understands that and how much she's just like, I'm going to be cool.
Yeah. She's like, how did he know I cheated on?
Yeah, either that. You're nice. I covered that one up. I had a gig in a little festival that was in Ocean City, Maryland. So that's actually I forgot about that because that was a few weeks ago. That's the farthest I've ever traveled.
Okay.
I've never been on the road yet. So it was like 4 hours away, and I took her for the night, and we got a hotel room on the beach and stuff, and it was really cool. But I realized, as I have been forming this like 6-7 minute chunk that's centered around my wife and going, take my wife please, but much more graphically, she never heard it before. And so we're in a bar. She's met some people at the bar, but she doesn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody either. I've met a couple comics through it, and she's just, yeah, I'm his wife. He's going to go up yet. And then I start talking about her, and I'm looking over, I'm thinking to myself as I'm telling the jokes, it's like, oh, I wonder how this is going to be received afterwards. And no, she said she was cool with it. So.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Renee. I love you so much. I will make sure this part of the podcast isn't in the editing room floor at the end.
I seldom edit, so this might be here, but if you don't want it on,
no, we're good. We're good. That's
cool.
That's the only part. Could that be the stinger at the beginning? Oh, AJ loves his wife.
Yeah.
She's a cheating slut.
Yeah. I'll put that in the at the end of the podcast. I'm gonna do like a send off. I'm like, and also AJ loves his wife. Yeah, you're also it's funny. I was thinking about this on the way here. You're like one of the only comics that I know that is needed a babysitter for this podcast.
Yeah, well,
which is an honor.
They're at school, but I needed someone to fill in order to pick them up if I don't get back in time. And I've entrusted that into the worthy hands of my father, which is so crazy that makes me so nervous.
Yeah.
Like the man that like raised me, and my parents were divorced, so half the time he like raised me unsupervised. And something about him just picking them up from school, I'm like, I hope everything goes okay, and he doesn't say anything racist or yell at them for no reason. But I mean, he's a great guy, but
alternative education.
Yeah, he grew up in a different time, as I like to say.
That's how I know you're a good dad, is because you got a babysitter. The other, you're not my first parent that I've had on the podcast. They usually just leave them in the car. They park right there. They just like look over there and be like, still moving, still moving.
Well, that's funny because I did a mic in Jersey City on Sunday, and I'd never seen this before. And it's like it's not a night mic or anything. It's like one of the attractive things about it is it's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's like a rare thing to be able to hit. Yeah. And they have a great camera, and it's got a good backdrop because it like looks like a club. I mean, it is a club. Shout out to not Mike. Us. It's Mike It or Not. It's at Dorian's
love that name.
Red Hand in Jersey City, and Rich Kiamko runs the comedy club, which I can't remember what it's called right now. Every other day it's a comedy club, but they get a mic in there and whatever, and they have a great camera. So I was going to do a tape. I wanted to take this 5 minutes I've been working on and just have a submission tape, and then put these jokes on the shelf. And right before I go up, this guy walks in with his 6-year-old daughter and puts her in the corner. And I was like, wow, I don't have that many jokes that I'm going to say the C word in, but I have a couple that kind of need it. And I bombed.
Really?
It's not this guy's fault.
You think everybody was just uncomfortable because there was a kid there?
Possibly. I mean, I felt I wasn't in the pocket anyway. I just got off to a bad start. But
you think the kid took you out of your headspace?
I don't think it was the kid. I think it was me being too nervous. But I'm going to blame this little fucking girl. So
yeah.
If I ever catch you on the street,
you better watch out, you fucking twerp.
I bet you can't throw hands.
Yeah.
If this was like the tail of the tape for a boxing match, I got an experience, reach,
man.
weight.
Yeah, you're fucking killing that kid.
Oh my God, one punch.
Yeah. That's how I often like to feel better about myself. Is like if
punching kids.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I was to punch a kid, like, could I kill it? And like my, like I like to gauge my self-worth on that. And like, my nephew's 11 now, and the option's off the table. Like, I can't punch him dead now. It's very upset. His little sister, of course, like, it's still happening. But him, not so much. He's taller than me now.
It's funny because they grow into non-killable with one punch, and then the cycle of life.
Yeah.
I'm waiting till I could possibly kill my dad with one punch.
Yeah. Actually,
he's not there yet. He can actually beat my ass, but
in theory,
he's getting up there.
If you don't kill that little girl now, she might find you later.
It's like Kill Bill.
Yeah. She's like, you said the C word too many times when I was a kid, and now I'm this killing machine.
Yeah, why don't you go after your dad for bringing you to an open mic on a Sunday while he's ordering beers?
I was doing an open mic at the bar I manage, and one of the owners of the bar was there, and they never really see the comedy aspect of the bar that we run, right? Yeah. So they were there. It was one of their first times, and brought his daughter, who's like 14.
Oh, no.
And I never say the word pussy in my set, but I was doing an open mic at my spot, and I do stuff there all the time, so I'm like, I got to do stuff I'm not really confident in.
Sure.
So I already had a predetermined list of what I was going to do, and one of it was a story about my buddy's pocket pussy. And in that story, I said pocket pussy like 8 times, and I'm like looking at this 14-year-old girl in the eyes every time I say it, because it's like a Freudian like thing. I'm like, I don't want you to hear this, but I can't keep, So I felt really bad, and I was sweating worse than I am now, and they have not come to a comedy thing since, but
that might be the worst age for his daughter to be for that, because she doesn't understand fully what you're talking about, but she's definitely perking up when she hears the word pussy. She's in junior high or almost in high school.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they know what it is, but like they don't understand the nuances to it.
Yeah, they don't understand its value.
yeah, exactly.
Or why someone would need this product.
Yeah. I mean, because as you get older as a guy, I mean, it's it's nice. It is nice. I don't know.
Watch whatever you want. ESPN on 24 hours a day with the pocket pussy. I never had a pocket pussy make me put on a Lifetime movie. Like True Blood. That's a dated one. My wife's making. That was bad. My wife's been making me, not making me, but I like to try to watch stuff with her. And the new season of Handmaid's Tale came out.
Okay.
And I'm not doing it like a toxic male, this is bullshit, that you women want to like the show. But it's just horror porn. Like, we get it. Like, we're all scared politically what's going on, and then we watch these women get their eyes plucked out and stuff, and that's all they do is focus on the character with a close-up and how terrified she is, and then something awful happens to a woman.
Yep.
And I get it. Like, we might go there. We might be going there, but I'd rather watch something funny.
Well, it's like...
rather watch The Last Gemstones.
It's like the fascination with like murder documentaries right now, or like maybe the shows now have capitalized on what people are interested in as far as murder docs go, and now the shows are making their content more geared towards the horror porn aspect of
Everything is just taking advantage of our psyches and turning it into money.
Yeah, especially the news.
Capitalism, baby.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, how can we make you scared today?
Jesus Christ. It's right, though. I'm scared all the time.
Me too. Mostly scared of
Scared
ghosts.
of these women taking the country back from us.
Oh my God, not in my lifetime.
Not in my lifetime, it's because I have a blood sugar issue and I'm overweight, so I've only got a couple of years left.
Big same.
Graveyard 2028 for me.
Yeah. You put the bumper sticker up now, actually. Oh my goodness. Do you have? Did you think of any more jokes on your way here?
So I stopped at, this is the one I think I actually may have fleshed out a little bit.
Okay.
I have to fix it and figure it out, but I think it's got something. So I stopped at the Platkill service area. It's like I had to pee so bad. I made it an hour and a half without peeing. I always try. Like I told you, I'm a psycho in the car. Like I play little games with myself. Like, can you make it without peeing? Like, who gives a shit?
Thank God you peed, by the way. There's no bathroom here.
Oh, good. I slow down on the water.
I should have said that.
Slow down on my Saratoga natural spring water then. But so I went to the bathroom, and I've had this thought a million times, and I never realized that it could be a bit. Have you ever had so much trouble with those public restroom touchless sinks? Like, that you get freaked out that maybe you got turned into a vampire and didn't know it. And then I looked up at the mirror and I saw my reflection, so I know that wasn't the case, but maybe I was one of those ghosts who doesn't know he's dead. And so that was kind of funny. And then I washed my hands and I can't find the paper towel dispenser or the air dryer. And there's not one. I go the whole thing, and I feel like I'm walking around with these dripping hands, like a fucking Nosferatu, the way I was walking. And it's one of those places where you can go left or right, so it's half a bathroom on both sides, and you can't see the other half. So I go all the way around the other side, and I couldn't find one there either. And then I hear an air dryer go off in the side I was originally on, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And I go back, and this guy walks past me, and I couldn't ask him. And there's no air dryer. So I maybe I'm in like a loop of hell because I actually did die. And it turns out they have this nifty little thing where there's a sink head, a soap dispenser, and then there's a little mini air dryer for every sink. Which
for every sink?
No, Platkill fucking on the cutting edge of technology.
Jesus Christ.
But I spent like 2.5 minutes with dripping hands, like thinking I was losing my mind. I was going to call you and be like, sorry, I had a breakdown on the way here. He's like, oh, what's your car okay? I was like, no, a mental breakdown, dude.
The thing is, your hands would be so wet you couldn't call me.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
You're like,
well, I mean, I could have taken off my underwear and used them. I was stupid.
That's the first thing you go for is the undies.
But yeah, there's probably something there to that. Like, it's relatable, the toucher.
Oh,
it never works for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm too white or not enough of a contrast, but the sensors never go off for me. And I'm like, am I dead now?
I think the thing applies with the urinal too, because as we discussed before we started recording, we both have small penises. And
allegedly, I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, yeah. Just me self-reflecting.
If I were Greek, I would come from Micropolis, not Sparta.
Yeah, Micropolis. I love that. But my unit doesn't set off the automatic flush on the.
So luckily, I'm so wide that the solar eclipse that is my body helps. With that.
You wake it up. It's like, where'd the sun go?
Sun's back. If there were fucking flowers in the urinal, they would open up.
That's funny. So we got a whole bunch of bathroom material that you.
Yeah, I love bathroom material.
Yeah, I love it. I actually
don't have a lot of bathroom material. You got any good bathroom bits? I just really
no. I've been trying to figure this part out, like as like a note about getting older. I don't know if you experience this, but I asked my dad about it, and he said this is something that happens to men when they get older. But like if I've got to pee and I like start to head towards the bathroom, and before I can even get my little guy out, like a couple drops come out. like the valve is not as tight anymore. Like a couple drips will seep through, and then I have to start peeing. You know what I mean? Like it's just like not a. It's yeah, it's like a bloop bloop. I'm like, all right, that's thank God I got here.
Go to Home Depot, you buy a new sink, that thing shuts right on and off.
Yeah,
you got an old one that's dripping. That makes sense to me. I actually don't have that problem. I have the end of it. I always have to stand a little longer and let a couple more drips come out, or else they're going to end up in my at the end.
Well, your valve is not as sealed. You know, mine's just on the front end. Yeah, that's interesting. What's going on with our pipe work, my friend?
I'm more of a Kohler faucet kind of guy, and you're insert another name of faucet here. That would have been a good job. If I knew what the fuck I was talking about.
We'll workshop it. Ace Hardware, send us a DM.
Ace is the place with the guys whose dicks drip.
But this is also brought to you by MeUndies, because our MeUndies are wet, and that is
there's a drip in MeUndies.
Drip in MeUndies.
Me be dripping in MeUndies.
Yeah. Me be dripping, me be tripping.
We be clubbing.
We be clubbing. What's the longest amount of time you've done on stage?
I did 20.
20
about a month ago, and it was my first. I've done 15 more regularly now, but the 20 was a surprise too. I was supposed to be doing 15, and it's not that big of a difference, but it was pushing the limit of what I liked, but it also just made me jump out and talk to the crowd a little bit more. Like not even so much crowd work, but like I've been learning recently, because I'm like a guy who's scared of crowd work, because I'm always afraid that my quick thoughts aren't going to pop in time, and then I'm just going to be up there and everyone's going to be looking at me, and there's gonna be no noise coming out of my mouth for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But it hasn't really happened that much, but I have been learning that you just have to, as someone who's been doing it longer than me knows, something funny or weird happens in the room, you have to at least just recognize it. So like if somebody drops a glass, you don't pretend like it didn't happen. Even if you don't say something funny, you say something. And so it was an eclectic crowd at this art space out in Pennsylvania, and so everybody was super duper high and very obvious, and so they were doing silly things, and it was easy to talk about. So I basically did my 15, but tried to pad it into a 20, and it went well. So
that's cool.
I tell everybody I'm a 20-minute feature kind of guy now, and they don't have to know they don't have to audit me on how many times. What about you?
The most I've ever done is 10 still. My most recent 10 that I did was kind of similar, where it was just like a last minute go on situation. I ended up hosting at a secret show at Laugh It Up.
Oh, cool.
Unintentionally. I was there as a customer, and then we didn't know who the headliner was, and
that's all kinds of fun.
Yeah,
happening.
5 minutes before the show, the host couldn't show up, so just got asked by Cal. He's like, "Hey, I need you to go on," and I'm like, "Okay." Let me just figure out what the hell I'm gonna say. I'm like, "Who's the headliner?"
Who was the headliner?
David Lucas.
Oh, cool. He's fantastic.
Yeah, I like him.
Awesome.
He was a very nice guy. For the record, very nice guy. Did not roast me as much as I thought he was going to, but ended up going up there, and I really was just vibing, feeling the moment, because I had no time to prepare.
Maybe that's best sometimes.
Yeah, I think it was, because it was one of those things where I was actually interacting with the crowd more, because I was just more aware of my surroundings. It was a very fight or flight response, and usually I sweat a lot on stage, but usually I'm more of all right, I have a plan. I'm going to initiate the plan. I'm going to do it, and then we'll adjust from there. But this was just hey man, the bar is so low, because this was a 5-minute notice kind of thing, and
that's cool.
And it's just you can do whatever the fuck you want.
You were kind of fighting instead of flighting.
Yeah. So fighting for my damn life up here.
The more time I have to think things out, the worse I do.
Yeah,
anxiety. I was saying, about that taping, and I super type 5 that I want to get on wax is the actually kids don't even say that. That's shit that Eminem would say.
It's never heard that before.
Yeah. Well, I can say some real. Have you heard about this Jardiance pill I started taking for my blood pressure? They call it Jardiance. It's fucking lit. But anyway, so I wanted it perfect. I want to get these jokes in the can, and I don't want to tell them in front of the same 30 people I see at all these different mics that I'm friends with.
Totally get that.
And if I go off of that script, it was derailing me. And when I go up sometimes and I'm not prepared, but I just talk, and you're actually doing stand-up and not just sitting there reciting a fucking book report, it always goes better. And so I got to stop planning so much. And that seemed to me sounded like a perfect opportunity for you to have no choice but to do that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had my phone.
So what's the owner's name?
Of the comedy club?
Oh, yeah.
It's Cal.
Cal, if you ever want to hit me, AJ Ellis Comedy, and just tell me that I have a show in an hour, I'm 55 minutes from your club, I'll be there, man.
Hell yeah, Cal. AJ's really funny. I just learned recently that he at least pays attention to the Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, he shared a post yesterday, and I was like, oh, wow, it was very nice of him to share. And then we had a nice long conversation. I talked to Cal from time to time. He's getting into voice acting, which I think is really cool.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. I did a little bit of an impression of his voice, but he's got like a fucking sweet voice. Yeah. He's like, hey, folks, we got a great show lined up for you. And he's just like he's the voice of God at the beginning. Yeah, awesome. It is really cool.
I've noticed you do some voices. Good. I'm jealous of that. That's not a thing I have. As a matter of fact, I'm the third best voice actor in my family. My wife kills it. My 6-year-old is unbelievable.
Really?
She just started talking 2 years ago, and now she can do like cartoons she watches. She can do dead-on impressions.
What's a popular cartoon that she does?
So she really likes Bluey, so she can do that. So she'll be like, "Oi, Dad, you cunt! What are you doing here?"
They say cunt on Bluey.
No, it's a dumb bit.
Yeah. She's like, "Wow, Bluey is voiced by Jim Jeffries."
So I was sitting here. I'm not going to pretend to do it, but anyway. No, my wife is fantastic at that stuff, and I've always been jealous because we always talk about we used to play this game when we were still dating back in the day, that she would say nationality, and I would have to try to do an impression of that. And I'm not doing any of it here because it's cancel culture now.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But every time she'd be like Mexico, and I would sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And she'd be like France, and I would sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I just couldn't do any of it.
I used to try to do that on dates, and I never had a girl that would play along, which is probably why I'm still single. Yeah.
Well, wait for the one. Though.
Yeah. Wait for the one.
That's not a you problem. That's a them problem.
Let me do voices like that, and then they will reciprocate. But she can do all of those voices really well.
I mean, not everything, but she's the voice talent in the family.
So she was doing those to flex on you initially.
Yeah, I guess she was negging me. I didn't even realize.
You're like, I have to reevaluate this whole marriage now.
A little late for that.
Yeah, very late. That's cool.
She's working on that time machine technology for her. I'm gonna send her in the fucking DeLorean and spare her.
Got to get that off to 88 miles per hour.
I had a bit I don't use anymore. When I first started, like my first showcase, I talked about my dad a lot, and I still do, but I've already have on this podcast. But I had this thing where the only thing that we have in common is our love for movies, and his favorite movie is Back to the Future, because he always told me that he could have a perfect life if he had a time machine simply by buying condoms. And, we got a little bit of like a bringer room laugh, but eventually I realized there wasn't that much to it. But maybe we're back. I'm going to work on more Back to the Future, but I'm going to use it as my wife as the subject and how she can escape this fucking hell of a stay-at-home dad, which means no income, stand-up comic.
DeLorean references almost always work, I would say. I'm doing a show at the bar on Saturday, and I'm working in a line that my dad has always said to me whenever he's been frustrated with me. He's a very funny guy, but anytime I get him frustrated, he'd look at me and go, "I should have pulled out." And I was like, son of a bitch. It's a good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It cuts and it's quick.
Yeah.
It's efficient.
Yeah. And
no one's going to hear that at a restaurant and call child services on him. Like it's just quick stab.
Yeah. And the first time I heard it, it made me think. And then I was like, son of a bitch. Like 3 days later, I was like, he's talking about fucking my mom. This guy. What's his problem?
Not only does he hate my existence, but he also fucked my mom regularly. Yeah.
What a bastard. I love my dad. What a goofball he is.
Silly dads.
Yeah, they're fucking silly. My I'm doing this I'm working that into a bit, but like I've been playing with this concept. A lot of like I usually do like light and funny like stuff, but a lot of like darker stuff has been happening in the local comedy scene, and we won't go into it now. Okay. AJ, I'm sorry. But some darker stuff has been happening in local comedy scene. So I've been in this like dark mode lately, and you know, I've been thinking about some darker concepts, and like one of them was like I know where I'm going to be buried.
Okay.
Yeah, and like my dad, in all of his wisdom when I was a kid, he would to motivate me and to like get me to like be fearless and all that kind of stuff. He would take me to the cemetery and he would show me all the burial plots he bought for his family. Right? He'd be like, "Son, like I try hard, and I know like I gotta take risks, gotta live my life because like I know like that's where I'm gonna be buried, that's your mom's gonna be buried.
One day you're gonna be right."
Yeah, he did show me. He'd be like, he goes, "I take risks because I know where I'm gonna be buried. So that at the end of the day, like I know where I'm gonna end up." And that is very motivating. And then he showed me where I was going to be buried, you know, completely separate location. he's like, "You're over here."
A less ideal piece of real estate.
Yeah. It's actually in a different state. He's like, "I didn't want you in the first place. I'm not going to take you with me after I go."
That's really funny.
Yeah.
You should have been like, "Well, I'm going to join my stepfather's burial plot anyways." So fuck you.
Yeah,
mom leaves you.
The stepfather I don't even have yet.
That's funny. I thought you were gonna say that he made you like try out the whole.
Yeah.
Better act right. So
Yeah,
you get you sent home from school one more time, and you're sleeping tonight in this.
Yeah, that's like another tagline. If you're like, "Yeah, this is where we're gonna be buried." Why is it already dug up?
Oh, you mean today?
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's news. Very motivating to get off the couch.
I've been getting dark too in my thoughts, but mine have been centered around religion. And
Okay.
I don't wanna, like go after religion too much.
Let's do that.
But
Let's
I've
do
been
it. Let's have fun with that.
so my grandfather just passed away, which
Okay.
is someone who's in their 40s. I'm extremely fortunate for that to have happened. But I, as this unemployed comic, stay-at-home dad, kind of volunteered to help out with him for a little bit. So as he was declining for the last 6 months, I got to help take care of him, and I got to spend a lot of time with him. So it kind of hit me really hard when he died a couple weeks ago. But the one, I don't really believe in all of it. And
I could hear this whole conversation.
yeah, I can do. It sounds like a very nice transition there at the register.
You're live at the Epicurean. We're hearing about somebody's shit.
Buy a scone, get on a podcast.
Yeah. We'll credit them.
But he's very faithful. He's a Italian Catholic guy, he was, and so the one thing that was getting him through is that he's going to be reunited with my grandmother, who's been passed away 5 years ago, and and it's funny because we're all joking that she's been waiting up there looking at her watch, just waiting to smack him on the back of the head. But you know, that got him through, and I don't believe in that. So it's actually easier to deal with death when you're not that. But I'm not gonna cross back over just because I have such a problem with the church itself, not so much the religion. So I like to say, like, so I was raised in the church, and I'm raising my kids in the church, as crazy as that is. My mom's really big into the church. She's like one of the ministers, and I thought it was like a good community. And when they get old enough to ask me questions, if they want to leave, they can. But I like to, like, if I start telling jokes about the church and somebody gives me like or like looks a little offended, I'll be like, "Oh, you're offended?" I'm like, having been an altar boy myself, I can tell you it's a lot like being a veteran of our military. Not all of us saw action, but those who did, we were never the same. So fuck you. And do you know that those priest uniforms have a second smaller collar that nobody else gets to see? Get the fuck out of here. So I've just been thinking about like trying not to rail against. I don't want my act to be political or anti-religious, but there's some funny shit in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay to make fun of religion right now. I mean, I feel like all of comedy is not all of it, but like a large chunk of it is focused on politics right now.
Yeah.
And I want to say, like,
I just want to have fun and not have politics in my thoughts. That's the only reason why I don't like to write down those tunnels.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of us get it outside of the open mic and outside of the comedy show. Like, we don't need it here. But you know, but the religion thing, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like religion is super prevalent these days.
Well,
so.
I feel like there's so many people that might be on one side of the spectrum that consider themselves super religious, and they use that as sort of justification for pretty terrible behavior. So whenever I start writing about religion, I find it bleeding into a political thing. And then, like I said, it's not that I'm scared to say these things. I just want to have fun. And I don't have fun anytime the news is on and it's something political. And so, like, for instance, the other day I was in the shower and I didn't even put it in my folder that has like my bits, because I was like, this isn't even comedy really, but there could be something funny in these. So I guess maybe I can bring them up. But I was thinking of like, you know, if Jesus ran in the last election, none of these Christians would have voted for him, kind of thing.
But that's fucking true.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the brown guy who, you know, socialist and all that other shit. Like you literally
I didn't even think about that. You mean that Jewish guy? I'm not voting for it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, and so then I've been like, so the more I delve into even not funny thoughts about religion, it becomes political, and then I'm just like, this isn't fun.
Yeah.
I was thinking that the thing about Christianity, it seems, is that they're always saying Jesus died for our sins, like what a sacrifice, and now we're absolved because of that. So if you only care about Jesus's death and how it benefited you, right, but you don't care about his life and how he helped others, how Christian is that really?
Yeah.
Seems pretty selfish, and so it's not funny because it's super true. And so then the one funny thing I think I found out of it is that you're not Christian even if you identify as such. So maybe you're trans faithful at best.
I love that too.
So, yeah, I got to figure that out. But that one I just wrote in the shower yesterday. So
you should play with that shit, man. There's
the only political
such
thing that made
premise.
a notebook, because I actually think there's something there that can be fun. I think calling a bunch of religious people who hate trans people, calling them trans myself, finding a funny way to do that could be very fun. Crowd reactions. But maybe you're not trans now, but you're a translator. How many languages do you speak?
Punny.
Well, I'm not afraid of puns, man.
Yeah.
So that's my political and religious views in a nutshell. Now let's move on to the fart jokes.
Yeah. You could open with that Jesus line, and then just never touch religion or
just move on.
politics for the rest of the set. Just
Yeah,
hit them
that's
with that like thought, and then just move on
And make them nervous.
that would be funny. Yeah,
Almost like a non sequitur.
Yeah. Just fuck them. Or like when you get the light, that's what you close with. I need to leave them with that.
And double fucking birds on
Go
the way
fuck
out.
yourself.
Did you enjoy my act? Because now you're not going to. You're going to remember my face and how you want to throw a fucking dart at it. Obviously different, not just black crowds, but my first black crowd experience was I almost quit comedy a year in.
Oh, really?
I got put on this show by this producer that does basically, it's not bringers, but it's basically free showcases, and that's all they do. And they use a celebrity as, it's called this. I'm not going to say the name because if any of my comic friends listen to this, a couple of them are aligned. So, but it's this celebrity presents, and then it's just a show that he's not at ever.
Yeah.
They do big clubs sometimes, Stress Factory. My first show outside of New Jersey was at the Bridgeport, Connecticut Stress Factory, and it really was just a showcase. And all these people that come and think that this comic is going to be there because he's presenting the show, but he's in Hollywood. He's never coming.
Hollywood?
No, like he's in Hollywood, California, where he lives and works. He's not in fucking Bridgeport, Connecticut, presenting the show.
I was guessing a different comic in my head.
Not John Hollywood, no.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no.
No, actually New York. Sorry, it is New York.
The person lives in New York.
I'll just say it's Keenan Thompson.
Oh, that's
Keenan
what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck
okay.
it. I don't care. I won't work with them anyway. So I did the Bridgeport show,
Next
and
season
they
of
didn't sell
SNL.
enough tickets for the second show, so they put everyone from both shows on the one show. So I went from doing 5 minutes to 2.5 after I drove through hell of traffic to get there. It was literally hell. But then they put me on this show that was, funny enough, Easter weekend, and it was in Long Island. It was on Long Island, as I've learned to have to say. But it was a 2-hour drive for me without traffic, and it took me like 2:45. And when I got there, I learned that my show was canceled.
Oh.
And that I could get on the end of this clean brunch show that they were having on before. And I said, sure. I already drove here. And I walked in, and the whole room looked at me because I was clearly the only white guy that's ever been in that room.
Oh, my God.
And there were children running around and playing, and everyone else was 70, 80-year-old grandmas.
Uh-huh.
And I did my first joke, and I panicking because I barely do clean now. I didn't do any then. And I was like, all right, so I just take out the curse words because that's all I can do, or I have nothing to do. And I told my first joke when I said screw instead of fuck, and you hear the dishes dropping from the waiters. And
good for your brain to be able to do that.
and then it made it a worse joke too. Like I don't want to be dirty just to be dirty, but sometimes you need the little fucking spice of fuck instead of
fuck has like such an emphasis and there's the kick to it is it's
but
there.
I told the joke, and I didn't think it was that dirty of a joke, but between the subject, I'll tell the joke, and I'll tell it clean.
Okay.
Or you want to hear it clean first or dirty? No, I'm only going to tell it once. I'll tell it clean, and then it really will land flat. But I don't understand that neighborhood sign that says deaf child area. Can somebody tell me the purpose of this sign? I've never had a kid run out in front of my car and thought to myself, screw it, I beeped. And with fuck, it just hits a little harder, but it's an okay joke, even like that. And oh my stars, and the kids are running around screaming like, this bike guy's gonna hit us with his car. And then I just ate shit for another 6 minutes, and then I drove 2.5 hours back to New Jersey, and I was like, I'm never doing this again.
That's a fun drive to think.
Yeah.
I still love that joke, even with screw.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. That
it's still in the act.
Good. I what I found with like words are like so like important. So like I said, I was listening to Louis C.K. this morning, right? And he has this joke about he goes, oh, I saw this coincidentally a blind guy. He goes, oh, I saw this blind guy, you know, or no, never mind. That's just in my head.
That's a pretty good Louis.
Yeah,
actually.
Thanks.
Keep going.
Yeah. Oh, I saw this. He said, I saw this old guy, and everybody like looks at an old guy, and they're like, oh, you know, feel pretty bad for him. And then he's like, I feel pretty bad for him, but you know, I don't know, like he could be on his way to go suck some cock. Like he could have a great day lined up, you know, like and like saying suck some cock or like suck a dick.
Oh, it's
like cock
right?
works so much better for that joke, and I thought about that for like 10 minutes afterwards.
I find it maddening about this freaking art form that we're in.
Yeah, it's the word choice,
cadence, the rhythm of it, also the syntax and grammar and stuff. Like sometimes you want it to be a little off, or sometimes I'm like such a nerd. I hear so many comics tell a joke, and I'll be like, it's to whom? Yeah. And I'm the asshole for thinking that in the back of a fucking open mic at a bar. But Jesus Christ. I bet you don't know how to use a fucking apostrophe either. There's one comic I'm friends with, and he posts everything on Instagram, and I just tell him, I was like, I've known you for 4 months now, and I still haven't seen you use a comma yet. Yeah. He's like, fuck you, honky. But yeah, that's...
Mike could be at it. Kidding.
But yeah, it's crazy what you're saying, because there's so many ways to go wrong and to find the perfect joke. It's so many variables.
Oh, so many. Like, I really do think, like I spend a decent amount of time writing, but like I've done Laugh It Up a few times, and like I've gotten to the point where like I've done enough like time to where like I want to go back and like just look at what I've already done and then just try to like nitpick stuff.
Yeah.
But like kind of like what you said, like I have this problem of like I don't want to do the same jokes in front of these people at an open mic that have heard them. Like it's like a weird.
The guys that
feeling.
I am noticing are the best that I still see at open mics, even though they're like working comedians, are the guys that don't give a shit about that. And it's almost like a self-confidence thing, because I was like, well, obviously I'm up here telling jokes. I want people to like me because I'm fucking broken, like all of us in a way. And I don't want these people to dislike me because they have to hear the slight change in wording that I'm doing this joke for the 700th time. But that's why these guys have such good fucking acts, is because they don't give a shit about that, or else they get over giving a shit about that. And I mean, you rewrite jokes and edit them and listen to the tape and change one thing, and you can do that 100,000 times before it's perfect. And these guys aren't afraid to do that, and I hate it, but I'm getting over it. I'm trying.
It is a really important thing to do, because like I'll give a shout out to Joe Alfano, who I've seen do a bit about Subway and how Quiznos didn't capitalize on the fact that Jared molested kids.
Yeah,
you know,
funny.
and he's just like, shouldn't your like whole pitch be like,
not the molester sandwich?
Yeah, we don't sell sandwiches to pedophiles. Like, you know,
actually.
Yeah. So that was like his whole bit, and like, you know, I saw him do it on a Wednesday, a Thursday, and then a Friday, and it was the same bit every time. But like, I don't know. I actually asked him about this at one point, but like he was like, yeah, I'm trying to say it this part faster and this part slower on different days. And then like, you know, he's like just changing cadence on how he says it. He did before even tinkering with the words, you know?
Right.
It's like that's like so
There's
good.
1,000 things that you have to do. Even to tell the same joke twice is so hard because of things like that. You could do it wrong. Yeah. But then the thing I find most maddening about comedy is you take the variables of a great joke, trying it out in open mics, which aren't always great for feedback anyway. It's other comics, you know.
Yeah, terrible.
And it could just be the room is different too. So I told this joke on Wednesday, and I think it needed this little change, right? I needed to change, make it faster at the end. And then I told that on Thursday, we'll say, and I made it faster at the end, and I got a bigger laugh, got a pop. I was like, oh, so this is great. I changed it, I make it laughter or faster at the end. Then I get to Friday and I do it the new faster way and it bombs. And it's just because another variable was it was just a better room on Thursday. So
Yeah,
it's like, how can you ever fully find? Like, I feel like I'm shooting in the dark all the time.
Yeah, you never really know.
But it's almost so maddening that it's beautiful. It makes me feel good about myself when I get one. Like, I figure one out because it's a big accomplishment. Like,
yeah, because it takes so much.
Literally, like every fucking
work.
Joke is Moby Dick. Yeah, fucking white whale. Not just my hog joke.
It's tiny.
Catch that? Yeah. That's the only fucking whale you can catch with a net. Come on.
I love that.
I think we're gonna need a smaller boat.
Oh fuck! I was gonna add something to that. No, it really open mics are like notorious for like comedians just like not laughing at anything you say, which is brutal.
I try. I'm an older guy. I moved to New Jersey. I had less friends besides the ones that I moved back to that never left, and that's fine. I have plenty of friends, but I've met people, and it's great to meet people and other comics, and I respect other comics and funny people, and so I've made friends. But I feel like first 6 months to a year, I was trying too hard, and I realized because I was like, I want people to laugh for me, so I'm gonna have some empathy and I'm gonna laugh for them. And then I realized I was laughing a little too much to try to be supportive, and people were like, that guy thought that was funny. What a fag! You know how to say that on this podcast?
Yeah.
I know it's a harsh word sometimes.
Yeah, I don't really censor shit. So I think I'm like pretty happy to be at an open mic most of the time. So like, and I also choose to sit in the front row, and I'm at least gonna smile at whoever's performing.
Yeah.
Because like they should at least get that. Like I feel bad when I'm doing an open mic and I look and I see some guy just giving me like a mean mug. And I'm like, oh, you don't like this. But really, they're probably just zoned out.
They're thinking about their own shit.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah,
I think about my own shit too.
Yeah. But even if I'm like zoned out, like I try to smile at the person and follow them with my eyes because I can think and do that at the same time.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. Like
you make a hell of a fraud, man.
Yeah.
Dead inside. You look alive.
Yeah. Which is, why I'm so likable. But like, yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. Like I try to do that for people. Because it's painful otherwise, like just a dead quiet room with no feedback and just,
I want the feedback, but even if it's negative, like I don't need you to laugh at all my shit. That's actually bad too. But like, something's popping. Can you listen to it for a second? But I don't.
Yeah.
I can't expect that of other comics because I have times when I'm in my head and I'm really worried about something that I'm gonna say or I haven't done yet, or I'm worried about anything in life, and so I went from laughing too much. There was a time when I was disconnected I didn't really start getting paid gigs until probably last September or October. So it's still kind of a new thing for me. And so when they started coming a little bit, I would get nervous about them and really focus on them. And that's what I was going to these open mics for, specifically to work on some bits that I were doing for this one show. And it's coming up and oh my God. So I would be fake likable like you in that I would be in my head doing this thing and I would be sitting in the back. But when I heard a little perk of laughter, I would augment it. I'd be like, ha! But I didn't even hear what the guy said, just to be the supportive member of a community. And then every once in a while, you don't do that right, and so you laugh at like a word in the middle of a setup, and everyone looks at you like you're a psycho. And I was like, I just think he's great.
Yeah. Well, don't be bad at that.
Not everybody can be a liar like you.
Yeah, I'm the best liar.
Likable pod.
Yeah, I'm a liar when it comes to myself. I tell myself I'm likable. That's why I needed.
You're very likable, sir. Very
you think
likable.
so?
I drove 2 hours to like you, so I don't want to get into the gay shit.
I feel like you just did it for the car ride.
Yeah,
like,
I just for the piece. He figured me out.
The code. That was the interview portion of this. Like he doesn't actually like me.
I'll drive anywhere. We'll love you, kids. I'll be back at 3:15.
I think I learned to listen to comedians on stage and like write jokes or like tinker with jokes at the same time, because like at like comedy clubs I do a lot of hosting at shows and like what benefits the show and me really, because my set might not be great, but like that little interlude joke between people. So like I need to
like
pay
a riff off of something from their set.
Yes, yes, yeah. Especially if they get into crowd work, then you have to pay attention. Or like if they get into crowd work,
because then you can be like, right, Susan?
Yeah, exactly. Like I was paying attention, but you also don't want to be like, you don't want to be that guy that is just like, anybody in relationships here? And like the guy before you did that for 10 minutes,
right,
you know? And that's like, that's painful, you know? Because that's when the crowd is just like, oh, you don't give a fuck about this.
Well, I also don't think that anybody wants you doing material in between comics. Like that's
oh, yeah.
So like if you can just seamlessly move it to the next comic and not take too long, but not be like the guy like, who's ready for their next act now?
Yeah.
And then the next time he's like, we got more coming. You guys want some more? Here's the next guy now. Like I hate like the guy that just walks through that. I hate that. But I've just started hosting. That's like been my new focus. I've gotten like 2 or 3 hostings under my belt. I've been asking comic friends like, hey, if you need a night off your open mic, I'll host for you. So I've done a few of those, and then I've got one show coming up in a couple weeks that I'm hosting. So I love it because I like that. That ability to riff in a way, like other comics come up with funnier shit, but like if I can add something to it, it's an easy laugh and it's fun to do, and it's what we've been doing this whole podcast. It's fantastic. So riffing. I love riffing, and I don't really have the chops to dive into the crowd work and be confident that I'm going to riff off of something someone says. But if somebody says it in a 5-10 minute set, I've had a couple minutes to write it, edit it, and it's ready to go. And
because you already saw that crowd, it's like,
oh, you know what's gonna.
You know
what they're gonna
how
like,
it's going to feel up there. So you're not like deer in the headlights for the first time. So like for like hosting for me, like good practice for hosting is always to like, when you go to an open mic that you're not hosting, is be like first or second on the list, because everybody's still getting settled in and they're not like paying attention. And that's exactly what it's like hosting, because you're the first one to touch the crowd when you get up there. So like, accepting that, and then, just being like, all right, well, they're still ordering their chicken tenders while I'm talking right now.
You got to find a way to hook them quick.
Yeah, exactly. So you learn how to do that, but then when you come back in between sets, like you're that familiar face. They already know you were funny because you close strong, and then and then you just do like a quick little joke about the person that they just experienced, and then you introduce the next act. It's like a fun.
I feel like it's a cheat code to this part of my career. Like I think I'm correct to want to really dive into hosting and get those reps, because it can only be helpful, and it's easier in a way for the things you're saying. Like I can do that more than sometimes when you're just up there eating shit for 10 minutes. Like I can bail on my opening set, and then I can say something funny, and like you're saying, I'm familiar now, so maybe they'll warm up to me. I have never been afraid of, personally, I've never really understood the people that are afraid to go first. Like an open mic. I get what you're saying, but like, so sometimes you get there and the list will have 12 people on it and one will still be open, and I'm not going to take 13 over one. Particularly I've been driven because in Jersey and trying to get better and starting late, like I shouldn't have started comedy at 42. That's a problem, but I
feel the same about starting at 34.
Got to catch up. So I'll do that first spot, and I'll make it up to my friends next time, and I'll be there for the crowd, but I'll go to 2 or 3 mics in a night if I can, and I got to be early on the list on the first one for that to happen. So and I feel like the community, it's like a good thing to not always bounce out on mics.
Yep.
Because you want to be an audience like they were, even if they were not paying attention at all and looking at their notes. But sometimes people understand when I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to go to that city mic before I miss the list too, because I really need the work. And they're like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So it's cool that you get that, because like that is so common in NYC.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, that 4 o'clock comedy shop to the Grizzly Pear at 4:30, and then the Grizzly Pear at 5, and then it's like because they do 2 mics back to back, and then you book it down, and it's just everybody's just like roving from one. But I'm like, when do you get to network? Like, when do you get to know each other? Like, this isn't.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually, unless it's been an actual show, I've never met anybody at an open mic that I didn't just like, hey, I like your shit, got your Instagram, and then like I watched them from afar and vice versa. But it's only been to actually getting a show, even if it's a free bar show, where I've actually had a hang and got to know people. And I didn't realize that in maybe it's more of a minor leagues, but being in the Jersey thing, like that's much more conducive. It's not because you're not walking a block to the next open mic. So if you're going to open mics, like you're planning it out and driving, but a lot of times you're just doing that one.
Yep.
And you don't want to go back to your life that you left before you started the open mic. So you're going to hang. And,
yeah.
And it's been valuable for me, especially someone who tends to skew a little bit older and moved from out of state just a couple of years ago. It's like I really value the opportunity to get to know people through it.
Dude, I think the networking after an open mic has been much more beneficial to me getting booked on shows than any material I've done. Just because like people like they get to talk to you, and then it's really just like it's a bond you form with people after a mic, because you compliment each other's jokes. It's also how you get feedback on how you actually did, because because they're all sitting and listening and maybe not doing their own thing, but if they remember something you said, even though the whole room didn't make any noise when you said the joke, they've been like, oh, that was something that stuck with somebody, and to explore that, right?
Right.
But yeah, that's been massively useful for me. That kind of shit. I don't know. Like the city stuff does bother me. I'm hosting my own mic in the city a week from yesterday. So like next week.
Send me the deets, man. It only takes me 35 minutes to get into the city.
Yeah, I put it out. I have we got like a full roster, but
I'll just watch.
No, I'm saying if you come, we'll probably throw you on. But like a thing I sent out, like I over communicate when I do things. So I sent out a thing. I was just like,
I'm that guy too.
Stay later if you can, like because I noticed this thing in the city, like everybody just fucking dips as soon as they're done.
Get their spot.
But the whole point is just like we're trying to get to know you people. So
plug it for your audience too. Or no, it's gonna.
This is gonna be.
Well, make sure you send me the details. 'Cause I'll be there either way.
Definitely, the constant disappointment open mic will be a good time. All right, dude. I know you got to hit the road. So I'm gonna do the exit here. Likable is filmed and recorded with Radio Free Rhinecliff. Thank you to Jen Hammod and Matt Rosenberg, our producers, and thank you to the Epicurean, which hosts us for each episode. Come by, stop and shop, and maybe you'll catch us on the air. Likable is a comedy-based podcast. Cannot emphasize that enough. We are experts in absolutely nothing, and also I'll emphasize that we should not be taken seriously. Consider this your daily dose of very questionable wisdom, and hopefully some hilarity. Proceed with caution and a healthy dose of skepticism. AJ Ellis, thank you, dude.
Yeah, glad to be here, man. This was so fun. I'm glad there's a strong disclaimer about anything I said too. That makes me feel a little more safe legally.
Yeah. Like our penises are huge.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. True or not true?
You don't know.
Music.
Yeah, you got jokes and you